Hey guys, welcome back to Channel Claire. I hope that you're doing well wherever you are in this crazy world. And it seems like things are going down on the land, out there on the land. Now, of course, as you can see by the title, this is a video once again on Miss Jenelle Evans of Teen Mom. And she's one of those people who always have something going on consistently. Like one of those friends that you talk to and like they're literally always into some shit. Like it's never just an easy conversation like, yeah, I'm doing well. Like it's always like this extravagant dramatic happenings that like happen to nobody else in the world but them, and you're like, what the F? Okay, I feel like Janelle's that person. There's always something going on. And so over this past weekend, I saw that Jenelle had posted this, I guess, photo of her on her IG, I believe. And she's taking a picture of herself acting like she's asleep, as you can see here. And I'm like, okay. She's like, scariest thing happened to me, da da da. I'm like, the thing is with Jenelle, like you never know if she's over exaggerating or she's just playing things up, because it's always theatrics. It's always an issue, as I was saying. So we didn't really hear any more about it. I figured the Ashley reality roundup would have the tea eventually, and as expected, she's right on time. So what was the scariest thing that happened to Jenelle? I have to admit, this is terrifying. If it has happened to you, you know it feels like a violation of space when someone tries to or enters your home uninvited. Okay, and seemingly that is what has taken place with Jenelle. Now, I saw the article. I have not read it yet. I'm going to read along as I'm on here, just because I'm curious as to what is going on. I just saw it come down my timeline and I was like, oh, okay. Once again, here we go. So let's see what happened with Jenelle Evans and this break-in. See, this is my thing with land and the land. Like, I know they're out there in kind of like the middle of nowhere on this swamp land surrounded by like trees and stuff, from what I remember from watching Teen Mom. And at night, I'm sure it gets like pitch black out there. Pitch black. I'm hoping they have like those motion cameras out there and like the motion lights, so like if something moves, this bright ass light comes on. I hope all that's all over the property, because that's the only way I'd be able to live out there. Like I always think, oh, I want to be off grid. Oh, I'd like a little country house. But then I'm like, do you really want your closest neighbor to be like half a mile away? Like, no, I can't do that. Like my coworker, her and her husband have like a bunch of land, like acres and acres of land, and the closest neighbor is like a mile away. I'm like, what if something goes down? Like she literally had to get cables to get like put into the ground. Like the cable company, like the internet people had to come and put cables into the ground so she could just get internet to work from home. Like she's out there and like it's pitch black. She's like told me, I'm like, how do you deal with that? If there's an emergency, if there's something going on, nobody can hear you scream. Like that is just literally the perfect setting for those horror movies, those scary movies. Like I hate it. So like I'm thinking about Jenelle out there, and apparently David the beast, the swamp monster, isn't out there anymore if Jace is there. So what is it, just her, Inslee, Jace, and Kaiser out there on the land in the middle of nowhere in the dark? And now apparently something like this is happening where there's an intruder, a possible intruder. I just cannot. Like that's like one of my worst nightmares, is someone violating my space in that way. Oh my gosh, like the stuff of nightmares. But let me stop rambling because I'm getting all spooked and everything. Like I I was about to say too much, but yeah, I'm getting a little spooked. But let's get into this article. Okay, so the Ashley says exclusive details. Police call to Jenelle Evans' home on Sunday. Former Teen Mom 2-star calls incident the scariest thing in my life. My goodness. So, Jenelle Evans is calling an incident that happened on Sunday morning the scariest event of her life. and that Ashley can reveal what happened to cause the teen mom to vague book about being terrified. Vague book. Now that's a new term. Vague book. Okay. Like, I guess she's being super vague where she's like wanting you to know, but like not wanting you to know. Like, don't ask questions. Like, when someone's, okay, I know what it is. Like, when someone's like, oh, I'm in the hospital, but don't ask any questions. Please give us privacy. And it's like, well, nobody would have known you were in the hospital if you wouldn't have told anybody and you would have had your privacy. So maybe that's like vague booking because like you're posting it, you're being super vague, yet it's on Facebook, which is a public forum where everyone's gonna see it. So okay, I get vague booking. I mean, good gracious, these new terminologies. Gotta keep up with the times. So Jenelle was vague booking in about being terrified. So Ashley says in the early hours of Sunday morning, a person or persons tried to break into Jenelle's home out on the land. According to county records and a post on local social media outlet NR Columbus, Jenelle called 911 around 1:30 a.m. Sunday morning and told the 911 operators that someone was trying to break into her home. Now, I have seen online that people are speculating it was possibly, allegedly, David. But how effed up, well, we know he's effed up, but how effed up would you be to try to like break into the home of your still wife, because they're not divorced, and children, stepchildren, still kids you've raised, to try to scare them? How effed would that be? Now, I don't put anything past him, but I'm just thinking of how like deranged you'd have to be to do something like that. And then if it wasn't him personally, like if he had someone else do it, that would still be effed. But alleged speculation, I've just seen it, online, people speculating and stuff. We don't know. It could be a person or persons, they're saying. So the police were dispatched to the land, but the intruder had left by the time the officers arrived. I wonder if they saw any evidence of tampering, like with locks or anything like that. So it's also been stated that Jenelle indicated that she was home at the time of the attempted break-in and that the suspects broke the lock on the home's sliding glass door. Okay. Luckily, the suspect did not get into the home. However, according to the records, the prowler did get into the garage on the land and make a mess. So I'm guess like they would have seen the attempted tampering with the lock on the sliding glass door, you would think, possibly. But they got into the garage and they made a mess, so that's fucked. I guess somebody's trying to troll on her or whatever. Either way, it's scary to have somebody come into your vicinity, your space, and try to fuck with you. Like, it's just so above board and just beyond. Like, it spooks the hell out of me. And it's like, I know, like, I can, like, as I'm talking, I'm like, ooh, like, could this be, just because of how Jenelle is, man, I'm like, ooh, can this be a ploy for sympathy? Like, the police did go out there and everything, like, I do have sympathy, but then in the back of your head, you're like, okay, is she trying to play this, like, get sympathy, because, now she's got Jay's back, she's trying to, like, push David out. Now she's like saying, oh, I've been broken into. Like, that's a lot happening, and trying to play into the sympathetic side of things and to get back on people's good sides. I mean, it's a possibility. It's there. I feel like we gotta think both sides when it comes to Jenelle. But it continues. They made a mess in the garage. No suspect has been arrested. And the Columbus County Sheriff's Office is investigating the breaking and entering attempt. The Ashley has reached out to the county for additional information. This break-in comes in just a week or so after Jenelle's son Jace came home. Like, well, damn, he just like trying to get settled in, and now you got this foolishness going on with the police rolling up to the house. It's too much. It's like, this 14-year-old boy ever really had peace? Has he? Dealing with all he has to deal with, being on MTV, dealing with his mom, Barbara, his David, just everything. Has he ever got in peace? So then she goes into like just summarizing the other stuff that's been happening. Anyway, Jenelle herself has not publicly addressed the incident other than a vague social media post made Sunday morning. Still sick, but the scariest thing in my life just happened last night and still processing it all, she wrote. I'll share soon, but I can't believe this happened. After seeing Jenelle's post, Ashley checked to see if any 911 calls were made from Jenelle's home recently and was able to confirm that a call did indeed go out on Sunday. The Ashley will update when there is more info available. I forget that all this shit is like public record. So had that not been accurate and the Ashley went and looked and there was not a call, oof. But Jenelle's not an amateur. She's been in this life for a long time, so she knows she has to like corroborate things, you know, if that's what it was going to be. But I'm just speculating now. I gotta feel like I gotta take both sides when dealing with her, because people really don't think that her and David are on the outs. They think that it's just something that's temporary, so that when possibly his charges are dropped, which I hope that they aren't, they'll go ahead and get back together. And I can't believe he's out there on a boat all this time. Like, dude, like, on a boat, you ain't got no money to swing for a hotel. Like, all these years you weren't putting money to the side. Just dumb. Like, just dumb. Like, if, like, women, I feel like all this time we would have been putting money to the side for a rainy day, you know, just in case. I guess he's too dumb to think like that. But anyway, that's what's going on out there on the land. Drama as usual, always something. So, but regardless, someone entering your home, trying to enter your home, is terrifying. So if that's what happened, that's what took place, like, I'm sorry to hear about it. I couldn't imagine. I just think it's ugh. So yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys here, and I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Think about liking, think about subscribing. If not, I completely understand, but I'll see you in another video. Bye. Okay, so I thought I was gone. I'm back. I was sitting here reading comments about this whole situation with the supposed intrusion over at the land. And this is what happens when you cry wolf so many times, or like everything is so dramatic. Like, I remember us hearing the phone call of her saying that like her collarbone was broken by David, and then like it's like not a big deal. Oh, it didn't happen like that. But like, we heard you on the phone. Like, she's cried wolf so many times, and people have started seeing a pattern. And I'm seeing online where people are feeling like it's possibly a ploy for her to get the no contact order removed. And that would allow David to be back in the house. If she's saying, oh, there's an intruder, David's not here to protect me, oh my goodness, da 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 da, she could try to use that as leverage and then have David back in the home with Jace. And then she's thinking she has the best of both worlds, but it's not the best of both worlds, because Jace does not want to be around that man, you know? So I'm like, she's gonna get a hard go of it, because at this point, from what I'm seeing, a lot of people aren't believing her. They're not believing her at all. I've seen some people say that she does have cameras out on the property. So if there's cameras out on the property and police came out there, if I'm the police, I want to see the tapes. I want to see the tapes of who was messing up that garage and who was over there jingling with the lock on the sliding glass door. Show me the receipts. And it's a shame that she can't even be believed at face value for what she's saying, because people don't believe her and because she has lied so much. Like, that's a rough place to be at, that like, even if she were telling the truth, there is a large majority of people who simply don't believe her, think she's lying, think this is a made-up thing. And I'm like, I don't even know what to believe with Jenelle. You really don't, because it's always something, and it very well could be her trying to get her way, because seemingly she always gets her way in these situations. She wants to get her way by having her man at home and having her kid at home, and to her that's the perfect little picture, forgetting the fact that her man is charged for allegedly putting his hands around her son's neck. So I just wanted to give, a well-rounded view of like what people are saying and what's happening, and I completely agree that it could be a possibility. Like, it very well could be a possibility. That's what she's doing, trying to run games. So we shall see. At the end of the day, it's gonna come out. So